Now, 3 days ago, Health Director General Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said that 507 people died in 50,531 traffic accidents nationwide that occurred throughout the movement control order in force from March 18th to June 9th, which was much higher compared to 120 COVID-19 deaths up to Saturday. With the implementation of the Recovery Movement Control Order, which began on June 10th, it might likely cause a spike in accidents as Malaysians are now allowed to make interstate journeys. Now, anticipating a Balik kampung exodus, Malaysians are urged to comply fully with the standard operating procedures under the RMCO as they travel to their hometowns. How can road accidents be avoided? Now, joining us today is Alliance for Safe Community Chairman Tan Sri Leelam Thye to speak on the matter. Now, Tan Sri, our road infrastructure has improved tremendously, yet road accidents and the number of deaths keep on increasing, including during the MCO and CMCO period. So what is your general comment on this?
Well, road safety has always been a very important topic in our country. I think for many years, the authorities have been emphasizing on the need for road safety and have urged the public to consistently obey traffic rules and regulations, do not speed, while they are driving, and have full concentration when on the roads. Now, it is sad to note that over the MCO this period, a total of 50,531 road accidents occurred, resulting in 507 deaths. Now, if we were to compare with the number of deaths from COVID, we would find that COVID deaths is much lower. It's only about 120 or so. Now, to me, one life lost is too many. And it is therefore important that we have to really ensure that the very spirit that Malaysians was able to embrace in preventing more COVID deaths, following the SOPs, and looking after their personal hygiene, safety, and health. Now, if this spirit could be translated, I think, to safety on the roads, I think it will certainly make a great difference in the sense that people who drive on the roads, they will be more conscious of road safety. They will follow the rules and the regulations. They will not speed, and they will always take into account the need to be courteous on the roads, and they must ensure that wherever they want to go, they must be able to reach their destination safely. So this is something that is a matter of concern, I think, to all of us. And I really hope that, as I said earlier, the spirit of preventing more COVID deaths in the country, the spirit of obeying the SOPs, following the SOPs, can be translated onto the roads to ensure that we will have less accidents in the future.
So what are the major contributing factors that can cause road accidents?
Well, road accidents are actually due to three important factors. First, you have the human factor, the problems. And then number two, you have got the vehicle, the factor, vehicles, that are not roadworthy and so on, and yet they are still on the roads. But I think this problem is getting less and less now. And of course, the last factor is also related to road engineering, road works and road engineering and so on. But to me, the most important factor, the major contributing factor to road accidents is the human factor. As I said earlier, people who don't, who obey the rules, they drive recklessly on the roads, recklessly on the highways, they speed, and then they lack concentration. Perhaps there may be some, I've seen some, for example, who are, these are texting, using the handphone while they are driving. These are some of the human problems that have to be overcome. So it is very much dependent on the individual. If the individual is disciplined, the person is very concerned about his personal safety and that of their loved ones, I'm sure he will be able to have better behavior on the roads. And of course, one very important thing is this, the way these people drive on the roads is also a reflection of the character of that person. And so it is all in line with what I'm trying to say, that we really need a change in the behavior of road users and the drivers on the roads.
All right, speaking of behaviors now, what about road hoggers? Now, we all know that on highways, especially major highways, that the right lane is meant for overtaking, but we've seen some people driving on the right lane in a casual manner, sometimes significantly slow. So what is your opinion on that matter?
Well, hogging is I would say, a perennial a problem. It is something that is very disgusting. It is something that shows that the person has no road courtesy, and it is very bad just behavior. And it is something, like, as I said earlier, it really reflects the character of the person. Now, road hogging, as I said, has been a problem that existing for years. Those who are supposed to be on the right lane should actually be on the left lane, because the right lane is for those who drive with a greater speed, and those who want to slow down, well, they should go to the left. So I really hope that hogging is something that has to be addressed, and this cannot be addressed, as I said, if not through law and enforcement, it is through perhaps the public, the other road users. They can actually report cases of road hogging, and then they can report to the authorities. So I think all in all, I would say that road safety is very much dependent on the individual, dependent on the behavior of the driver. And last but not least, I would like to stress once again that on the overall subject of road safety, I think what we need to constantly emphasize is on the need for the 3 E's. That is enforcement, education, and engineering. These are the 3 very important factors that have to be taken into account. And I hope that as we talk about a new norm, I think with regard to COVID, I think it's also high time for Malaysians to have a new norm, I think, on the highway. I think it's time, for them to be determined to collectively do their part to help reduce the number of accidents and tragedies on our highways and on our main roads.
All right. And what is your comment on the government's proposal to impose heavier punishment offenders? Well, I would certainly disagree that for those habitual offenders, if they don't correct, if they don't change, then I think perhaps more stringent law enforcement in terms of heavier fines, I think will be one of the possible solutions to the problem. But I would always say that why must we wait for the law enforcers to take action? I mean, why can't we change ourselves? Why can't we have better behavior on the roads? Why can't we think of our own safety and that of our loved ones? Why must we continue to see road tragedies, year in, year out? Every year we have about 6,000 to 7,000 people who die on our roads. And comparing the population of Malaysia with about 32 million or so, I think this is certainly a very serious figure, a serious matter. And I think it is time for everybody, I think, to play their part to prevent this. All right. Okay, thank you, Tan Sri, on giving us some insights on the issue. Now, that was Tan Sri Thye, Chairman of Alliance for Safe Community.